allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Resolved that the Roselle Park Board of Education meeting hereby convenes to executive session for discussion of the following subjects: personnel matters and attorney-client privilege. It is anticipated that the executive session will take approximately 60 minutes. The board may take action during public session. The board shall return to public session following executive session at approximately 7 p.m. The minutes of the executive session shall be released to the public when the reason for the executive session no longer exists. May I have a motion to go into the executive session?
So moved.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. May I have a motion to return to public session, please?
Make a motion?
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, it's the public participation for agenda items only. Each member of the public may speak a maximum of 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Seeing no member of the public at the podium, I will now move to committee reports. Do any of my fellow board members have any committee reports? I have one. The Facilities Committee met earlier this evening, and we will not be moving forward with the Grove project that was mentioned last meeting, so that has halted. And any other committee reports? Then I'll turn the microphone over to Mr. Garrido, our superintendent.
Thank you, Mrs. Karlstrom. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board members. Just a couple of items I have on my agenda. Summer is flying by, as everyone can see. It's already July 20th. The district is extremely busy, not as busy as last year in terms of preparation, but we are planning for our September opening. Just a little bit of information about our summer programs. Our summer camp, extended year program, and Title I program has been very successful. Really, even with the restrictions, with COVID restrictions and so forth, we really have had a nice turnout. And you know, again, I applaud the efforts of the administration and the staff that's working in the summer programs. They've done an excellent job keeping our students and our staff safe and healthy, which is always has been a #1 priority since the pandemic started. As I mentioned, preparation is underway for the upcoming school year. We are reviewing the current CDC and the New Jersey Department of Health guidelines and still planning for a full day of instruction, 5 days a week, including lunch. Obviously, as we have seen lately, plans may change, and it all depends on Governor Murphy's orders, if anything does come up, and CDC school guidance. We are monitoring very closely, and we are hoping that everything in September is as planned. Just a couple of comments I wanted to make. I know at the last meeting there were several parents here with concerns regarding the survey, the equity and diversity survey. And I just want to make a couple of statements that a couple of things that have developed since that meeting. I've met with members, staff members, members of our diversity and equity committee. And just so you know, one of the things that we have planned and agreed on by everyone any future surveys, and we've heard you parents, any future surveys that are sent out by the Diversity and Equity Committee will have the option of parents seeing it, reading it, and making sure that it's appropriate. At that time, if parents feel that their child is not ready or they don't feel comfortable, they can have the option of opting out of any surveys from the Equity and Diversity Committee. I wanted to make sure that's clear. I've heard news that the results of the surveys have arrived. I have not had a chance to review them yet. I will do so, but I will announce to the parents and to the board that we will be sharing the results of the survey with everyone. And in addition, we will be sharing what some of the programs, some of the things that we'll be doing based on the data that we receive. So I just wanted to make those two announcements so everyone, is aware of it, that we are listening. We know there was some level of discomfort from the survey, and we wanted to address that. At this time, it is always my honor and privilege to introduce our anti-bullying district coordinator, Ms. Ellen Backer. She will be reporting on the semi-annual district self-assessment for determining grades under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. Ms. Backer?
Thank you, Mr. Garrido. So yes, I am required under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights to report this information to you. Now, this might look familiar because I reported this exact same data to you back on November 20th, 2020, because this self-assessment that is done by each school has to be reviewed by the board before I can submit it. So you reviewed it back in November of 1920 because this information is for the school year 2019, 2020. The information, it's a slow process with the state. So the self-assessment is a very detailed 41-page rubric that each anti-bullying specialist, along with their school safety team, completes to see how well their school is meeting the requirements of the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act. They review that, they give themselves a score, and then it's reviewed by their principal. They submit it to me, and then I share that information with you. Once you approve those scores, I submit it to the state. The state takes a very long time to process that information. So the scores for 2019-20 were just officially released last month. And then I am required to post those on the school and district webpage, which can be found on the anti-bullying information link. And again, to just let you know that those official scores are posted online. So it's a very detailed rubric. There's 18 core elements, and it analyzes all different aspects. And I think that you might have gotten this sheet in your packet. Great. So you can see that this year also takes into account that we were out of the building for over 3 months for that school year. So our anti-bullying specialists did their best to do what they could for those 3 months, but we use that as a little learning period for what we were going to have to do for this current year. So I think based on that information that we do a really excellent job. There's always room for improvement. I would never want to see perfect scores here because it means we always are striving to improve our programming for our students, for our community, for our staff, for our parents. So that is always our goal, to educate, raise awareness, and make our schools safe and inviting and inclusive for all of our students and our whole school community. So I don't know if you have any questions, but okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Backer and Mrs. Costrom. That is my report for the evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Backert, and thank you, Mr. Garrido. Now we'll move on to the agenda, personnel, agenda items 1 through 16, and addenda item 1. 1, staff appointments. 2, summer credit recovery program additional staff. 3, rescinding of staff appointment. 4, staff resignation. 5, change of assignment transfer. 6, district substitutes. 7, retirement compensation. 8, additional ESY staff. 9, additional summer remediation program. 10, professional development. 11, additional ESL summer enrichment program staff 2021. 12, Title I school plans. 13, high school extracurricular advisors for 2021, 2022. 14, retirement date revision. 15, additional fall athletic coaches 2021, 2022. 16, additional athletic proctors, site managers for 2021, 2022. And then addenda 1A, 1B, increment withholding, and then approval of personnel section. Oh, I need a motion to approve the personnel section.
Make a motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Falcon. Mr. Fernandez.
Yes.
Nixon Fonte.
Yes. Yes, with an abstention on 1B, the addenda item.
Ms. Kirkland.
Yes.
Ms. McLeod Cato.
Yes.
Ms. Quintella.
Yes, with an abstention on number 5.
And President Carlstrom.
Yes, with an abstention of 1B. Now we move on to education, agenda items 17 through 23. 17, revision of AP Summer Institute Training Attendance Request. 18, District Mentoring Plan. 19, Professional Development Plan. 20, Conference Attendance Request. 21, Title I Parental Involvement Policies and Parents Compact, 2021, 2022. 22, high school and middle school athletic schedules. 23, harassment, intimidation, bullying incidents. May I have a motion to approve the education section?
Make a motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Falcon. Mr. Fernandez.
Yes.
Nixon Fonte.
Yes.
Ms. Kirkland.
Yes.
Ms. McLeod Cato.
Yes.
Ms. Quintella.
Yes,
And President Carlstrom.
Yes, but I abstain to 23. Moving on to business, agenda items 24 through 33 and addenda item 2. 24, monthly certification. 25, approval of bills. 26, approval of minutes. 27, use of building and grounds. 28, disposal of textbooks. 29, 2020, 2021 budget transfers. 30, 2021, 2022 budget transfers. 31, donation acceptance. 32, district contracts agreements. And then the addenda for business, number 2, secretary treasurer report. May I have a motion for the approval of the business section?
Make a motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Falcon. Yes. Mr. Fernandez.
Yes.
Nixon Fonte.
Yes.
Ms. Kirkland.
Yes.
Ms. McLeod Cato.
Yes.
Ms. Quintella.
yes,
And President Carlstrom.
Yes. Moving on to continuing business or new business, we have an addenda, number 3, and I'm very sorry to read this out loud, to accept the resignation of Ms. Camille McLeod Cato effective August 31st, 2021. We really are sorry to see you leave, but wish you and your family luck on your new move.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Falcon,
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez,
Yes.
Nixon Fonte,
Yes.
Ms. Kirkland,
Yes.
Ms. Method Tato,
Yes.
Ms. Quintella,
Yes.
and President Carlstrom.
Yes. Public participation. Each member of the public may speak a maximum of 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Paul Biamonte, 32 East Clay Avenue. I want to say I know the superintendent probably put a lot of effort into the, or at least a lot of time into the coming to some sort of conclusion or answers to some of the questions that were asked last month or at the last meeting. I know we're still waiting to hear what some of those are, some of those questions are. So we are looking forward to that. I don't think we're going to give up on it. I also understand that you have to review the survey. I also understand that there's going to be some sort of implementation of the survey, and you're going to present that. Is there going to be any parent involvement in that, or is it just a decision that's made by the superintendent or board or a group of other parents and people?
I'll answer that. I really don't understand clearly, but do you mean as part of the planning after the survey?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, basically so the survey was done for a reason,
of course.
right? And what the ultimate outcome of the survey is going to be and who's going to be involved in implementing
Sure.
what the outcome is. Another question that's been stirring is does anyone know the cost of what this survey was? Just roughly? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I don't have that in front of me. I certainly can get that information.
Okay. Then I have on a separate note, I have a general question. I've been to a handful of meetings over the years, the last two obviously. And I sit on the municipal land use board in town. I've been on the board for 8 or 9 years. We have healthy debates and discussions in public. We are not elected officials. We're appointed and voted in by the council. We are not elected officials. We put our time in, as do you. But before things move forward, or before we render a decision on a particular project or subdivision or whatever it is, we publicly have discussions. I don't see that with this board. It seems like everything happens in a closed meeting, and I'm not calling it a backdoor meeting, but it happens in a closed session, and you come out here and vote everything unanimously. I just wondered what the protocol is or why this board operates this way.
I can respond to that.
Hit the top.
You're on. Sorry. If you pick up an agenda from the back of the auditorium or look at it online, on essentially the last page of the document, there's a list of 9 items that have to do with closed session matters. So any topic that would fall under one of those 9 subject areas is a conversation that would be required to be had behind closed doors. Anything that happens here at the public table is something that's required by law, can happen at the public table. This is also a board of committees where if you don't have a quorum of the board, so since it's a 9-member board, if you meet in a group of 4 individuals or less, that's something where where these pieces, these subject matters don't apply to that. They can talk about anything with respect to if it's less than a quorum of the board. So what happens oftentimes in a board of committees is that you will siphon things out to different committees. So for example, if it's an issue with respect to finance, or if it's an issue with respect to personnel, and then that recommendation gets made through the superintendent as a part of the agenda. Board members, receive the agenda in advance of the board meeting, and then they have the opportunity at the board table to ask questions, make comments. But if they don't have any, then they obviously don't, voice that concern. And then they would have the ability to vote.
Okay. My time was up, right? Thank you.
Edward Gate, 17 Hamilton Place, Roselle Park. I'd like to thank you first for the interaction. It's really good idea to answer the question in public, and it's really nice. And actually, I like regarding the survey, I'd like to suggest to cancel the result, or cancel the survey if everybody not satisfied, and you can simply ask for refund. If most of the parents are not satisfied and it didn't meet the public satisfaction, so simply we can cancel and make sure all the information are deleted, and we can come up with a different design for next year to satisfy everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Cindy Mago, 433 Walnut Street. So first, I'd just like to thank you for rethinking the survey and how you're going to do that going forward. And so I was looking on the district website, and one of the 3 board goals this year, well, past year, whatever you want to call it, is address inequity in this district by including input from students, parents, and community members. And I'm just wondering, how do you include them? Does this board make use of the many PTAs and PTOs that are in our district, or groups like the CPAG that's in the district now, to encourage parental involvement, leadership, or consultation in any form? Unfortunately, it seems like I could probably answer that, and you really don't. In all the time on my PTO, I have 0 interaction with any of the elected board members. I have seen Mr. Garrido many times when he came to do his presentations, but the elected board members I never met. Our liaison never came. This is the first year that I actually saw Brittany. She was the Aldine PTO liaison, and I actually saw her, and I was quite amazed by that. That's one thing. My last comment is in regards to the Citizens Advisory Group in Roselle Park. And most of you probably don't know what that is because it doesn't exist. I actually asked Constance Quintella because she's named as the liaison to the Citizens Advisory Group on the district website, and she had 0 information about it. I also contacted Councilman Rabena, and he said he's lived here 11 years. He never heard of it. So regardless of if it exists or ever existed, I'm curious if a group or a similar group actually were created in the district. Oh, sorry.
Mrs. Mago.
Yeah.
So prior to the pandemic, it was
Okay.
in full swing, and I was a liaison for that.
Okay.
And it was held at the Cassano Center, and we would meet once a month. But with the pandemic and some of the people that were on it were a little elderly, and it was difficult to meet. And then
Gotcha.
it hasn't picked up again because, as you know, the world just started opening up in May.
Yes.
But Rupin Shaw and Pat Butler from the museum, she was involved with that. And it was a lovely meeting, and principals from the district would also be representatives. So I know Constance may be on it this year, but
Yeah.
again, the world hasn't opened up. So I'm hoping in September it will continue.
That's great. Okay.
And I'm sorry that the board member prior to Ms. Kirkland didn't show up to the Aldine. I was also a liaison to Robert Gordon 2 years ago, but when Mr. Fernandez was elected, he is a parent at Robert Gordon, so I was kicked out of Robert Gordon. So I enjoyed that also, meeting the parents. And again, with the pandemic, everything had shut down. We did a lot of virtual PTA and PTO meetings, so hopefully September we'll see new light.
Yes. Thank you. That was it. Thank you so much.
That's my time. Any other member of the public wish to come to the podium?
Hello, Jackie Garcia, 600 Laurel Avenue. I actually wanted to find out, I saw Ms. Marmello extended her retirement about a month, which I'm assuming it probably had something to do with the new hire. Is there any information that you could provide at this time about, have you decided on a candidate? Maybe just a little bit about the progress. And I also wanted to wish Ms. McLeod, thank you so much for your time on the board. I appreciate all your input, and I just wanted to say thank you. I can yield the rest of my time to the board.
Ms. Garcia, I can certainly update you and the public on the search for the Director of Special Services. We are in preliminary interviews right now. We had two first rounds last week. We are entering a second round. There are 5 candidates that are coming back. I can tell you they all bring something different to the table. They all have experience as administrators or obviously in special education as well. I want to thank the CPAC committee and group for their input and feedback. It is very helpful. As I mentioned to the group, I would certainly incorporate some of those questions or those questions. They're very good. So please share with your committee that it would definitely, we would take your input to consideration. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody.
Seeing no one from the public approaching the podium at this time, I would like to have a motion for an adjournment.
Before we adjourn, may I say something?
Sure.
So since this will be my last meeting, seeing everyone, I just wanted to say thank you to the Roselle Park School District, the Roselle Park community, parents, administrators, support staff, fellow board members for allowing me this opportunity to act in this capacity. I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of people, and I know that the Roselle Park School District will continue the good work that it's doing. I know that the fellow board members and with the continued support of the the continued support of the parents, that will continue to make sure that our children get the best education that they deserve. So thank you so much, and I know I'll miss everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck to you, as I said before, and your family. And at this time, may I have a motion for an adjournment?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next scheduled board meeting will be a closed session on Tuesday, August 31st, 2021 at 7 p.m. It's not closed there. That's an error. It will be a regular meeting at 7 p.m. here, at the high school, Roselle Park High School. Until then, stay cool and enjoy the rest of the summer. Thank you.